Hey, good morning. Bob Rapp here. Just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to the folks at KLA. And what we're talking about today is Translator, which is a common service that runs across all of Microsoft's products. So anytime you use it, whether you use it in Office 365, if you use it on an Android or an Apple or Windows or Mac, anywhere you use it or embedded in other products, it's actually coming from what we call the Microsoft Cognitive Services. And those cognitive services provide a very powerful way to do speech and voice and text and other kinds of translation. So I think for this morning, what I just like to do is to kind of give you some resources to talk about where you can look at things. And one of the best places is a website that I like to take people to that's just called Translate It. So if you say Translate It, you get to the translator home, and you have lots of things that you can do here. You can do text translation, and so I'm just going to enter a document here, and this is a document that was automatically detected as being in Hebrew. I know you guys have offices around the world, one of them in Israel. And then it automatically put it in my default language. There's also an app you could download, which is a lot of fun to play with, and I'd recommend you do it maybe after this conversation because it's a great way to understand the depth and breadth of what we do with a user interface. Conversation is kind of a cool thing, and I've set up a conversation here with a colleague of mine. Thanks, Joyjeet. So Sherry has joined us in Japanese. Joyjeet has joined us in Hebrew, and this is an interactive thing where you can have lots of people either speak or type, right? So, and another example of what you can do is I went to KLA Corporation in China, and up at the very top, embedded in the Edge browser, is I can simply say, always translate pages from simplified Chinese to English. And so when I now go down the page, it's doing a translation. If I take that off and say do not, I just can say show the original, then we get back to the original thing. There's a lot of great resources. The Evaluating the Azure Cognitive Language Services, these are tutorials that are really fun to work through. Actually, I set up a translation quick start for you. So I actually built a little API endpoint and so you guys, if we need to, we could, after this meeting, we could work with how you could get hands-on in the demo. We also have a bunch of resources on GitHub that are open source and able for you to download. And so pretty easy text. We can get you doing some work with Translator right away. You may actually find, though, that you want to work with a partner. And so if I think of partners that we have for the translation service, there's a bunch of them. And I can give you a list of different partners that we have for these services. But there's ways that we could have a third party that have services. They have SaaS services for this, so you wouldn't have to write the code. You could subscribe to their services. And one that I was actually just playing with on your behalf yesterday is simply called phrase.com, and just log into that account. They use the Azure backend, and they do a pay-per-view kind of service. So lots of different things we can do, but I'd love to know what you'd like to see more of and how it can help. So thank you very much.